What are you doing, man? You know, we understand you're giving them advice, but you're giving them good advice. How are you going to defeat these other heroes? And my answer every single time was, I'm not competing against these other heroes. I'm not trying to defeat these other heroes. I'm competing against the challenge. And this is a show where the best hero needs to win. And if I'm the best hero, then that's great. But if Hyperstrike or Whipsnap is the best hero, then they need to win. You know, everyone gets advice. It's what we do with that advice. And I'd like to think that every time Stan Lee told me what I was doing wrong, I'd like to think I honestly did take it to heart, and I listened to him, because I'm Mr. Bossy Pants.
Did he say it that way?
You all Mr. Bossy Pants.
He basically... It's like he's here.
Excelsior.
I'm going to love doing your job on the next season. I'm just speaking from experience.
Take another question.
You have a question?
I have two questions. One's for feedback, one's for the diffuser.
I'll try to answer.
I'll answer both of them. Actually, Sarah can answer feedback because she knows everything he knows better.
Actually, it's one of the things in season 2 that feedback was a thing. The question for feedback was, why wouldn't Stanley let the dog come along?
Why wouldn't they let...
Whipsnap's dog come along?
Well, there wouldn't be any place to put the dog, and let's say someone on the cast was allergic to dogs. You know, the dog would like poop and stuff in the lair, and that's just not hygienic. We had Hygiena there, and we don't want her to have a conniption.
That's not really part of her brief yet. You had a second question?
Did you ever find out who Dr. Dark was?
Oh, see, this is one of those non-disclosure agreements that I'm still not allowed to answer. Yes, I know who Dr. Dark was supposed to be. He was supposed to be a famous actor, but it didn't work out, so Dr. Dark was just Dr. Dark for all intents and purposes. Sorry, I hate to do those whole no comment things, but it was going to be Sean Connery.
That was going to be I'm not covered by an NDA, so.
Patrick Stewart, I thought.
It was going to be the crowning achievement of his career.
Yeah.
I'm from the planet Johnny. There should have been only one.
My question's for Matt Haley. You did all the pictures. Matt Haley.
The guy not in the costume.
You did all the switches to commercials, making all the superheroes in the lair for seasons 1 and 2 into comic book panels.
I did all the on-screen art, yes.
Of all the heroes in season 2, which one of the 10 heroes that you had to draw repeatedly was your favorite to draw?
Well, I'd have to say Whipsnap, no offense, because I think I drew her more than anybody else, and I don't really know why. But, because I haven't actually seen season 2. They didn't give me any footage to look at. I'm hoping to see it here in a couple of weeks. But the problem that I had is that Sci-Fi wouldn't give me the reference of the costumes. For whatever reason, I think they're worried about secrecy, even though I was there. So I had to go and take cell phone photos of their costumes, just so I could see, because he's got all this nonsense all over his vest. I had no idea the trouble I had. I was trying to figure out from a little tiny JPEG, what is this box and this round thing and this thing over here, and I just did the best I could, you know. Feedback's costume, fortunately, is fairly simple, but I even managed to muff that up, because he's got a belt with a couple of buckles with F's on them. I couldn't see that. So when I finally, I think in San Diego, was walking around going, man, that's how that thing goes together. They fire me, you know. So I enjoyed drawing Feedback and Major Victory in the first season just because they look like superheroes, you know. Diffuser was a pain in the butt. In the first season. In the second season, I actually really liked Miss Limelight.
I bet you did.
I was stupid, yeah. And last question?
This is for the diffuser. I know you're a fan, and you watched the first season, you saw all the things, especially the tricks that Stan put in to distract the superheroes from accomplishing their missions. And he got a lot of the people on the first one when you had to get the tires back on the vehicle. what did you do after that to try and start looking for, what's the actual hidden challenge, or what's he going to try to distract me with? Because I was looking, it's like, guys, can't you see?
What you see on TV is not necessarily what we saw in real life.
What he's trying to say is there are some things that we can't tell you, but know this. The diffuser was the biggest problem causer of season 2. In that, season 1 is a little different. They didn't have any scripted, it wasn't trying to follow a story. They were trying to follow a story in season 2, so they needed certain things to happen. Well, they wanted to preserve the reality moments of the true surprise, the true, emotions that we all get hooked on reality shows, or hopefully that we will. But at the same time, weave a story. Well, I'm sorry, but the diffuser is an investigator. I mean, he's a detective who's got real skills, and a group of people trying to create a reality show are no match for real skills.
It's true. We need to end on that note because the next panel's about to begin.
So,
a round of applause for everybody.